What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I got a neighbor cutting grass. Hope you can hear me, but I picked up a little flip cart the other week. Let me show you exactly what I got, and I'll go over it and show you exactly what we're going to do on this video. There we go. We got us a little EasyGo TXT. Now, when I'm looking for flip carts, especially on the EasyGos, the first thing I look for is the front axle. This is the telltale sign here. If there's leaf springs on the bottom of the axle, it's the 3-bolt column. If there's no leaf springs on the bottom of the axle like this one, it's a 4-bolt column, especially if it's a straight axle. Another giveaway is the silver piece right here. It's the rack. Okay, it lets you know it's a 2001.5 and up. Another way you can look at this right here, you got the 4-bolt column right there. This right here is a PDS 36-volt cart here. I gave $1,000 for it. Might have gave too much, I don't know. But the battery tray looks good, no rust. Everything over here looks good. No batteries. I don't know if it runs or not. It did have a back seat on it. It doesn't look bad. So, on today's video, we're going to 48-volt swap this. I have some 48-volt Vatrer batteries, or Vatrer. We're going to check them out. They got a new battery out, ultra small, compact. We're going to check that out as well. But I've got another controller from, I believe, a Fleet TXT. We're going to see about keeping the old motor. We might even have to just change the end of the speed sensor. I got a new harness for this and all. So with that being said, let's get it in the shop, start getting it taken care of. Number one, you're gonna need a TXT 48 harness. And I'm gonna put this right here harness and the rest of these products down below in the video description with links where you can get these at. And this right here was, I wanna say this harness was like 20 bucks. So you're gonna need a harness, number one. Number two, you're gonna need a 48-volt solenoid. That's what this right here is as well, linked in the video description. You're obviously gonna need a 48-volt controller, okay? So this right here is a Fleet controller. This is a 1206 HB controller. You're gonna need one of these controllers, and I'll place the links to these right here down below as well. Now, the last thing you're gonna need is a speed sensor for the 48-volt harness, okay? Now, what I have here, this is actually a speed sensor I replaced on another 48-volt cart. And when I do those, I usually cut the plugs off, and I keep these right here plugs so I can use this on the existing speed sensor plug. I'll just cut that one off and crimp this one right here on and use this right here with the harness. Now, you should be able to use your key switch and your FNR switch as well as your tow run switch on the controller box. You're not gonna be able to run 48 volts to the stock 36-volt PDS controller. You're just gonna fry it. You're not gonna be able to use the stock harness. That's why we got a new harness. Let's go ahead and start disassembling this. Now, these bolts right here, they take a 10mm size socket to remove them. On this one, there's only 2, but normally there'll be 3 or 4 on these right here. 2 at the very bottom was missing. You can actually reuse this right here cover. I don't ever get rid of them. Plus, you have the tow run switch there as well. Next thing we're gonna do is to disconnect all of our wires here. We got an A1 wire. We have a battery negative wire. We have this one right here going to the controller, and one going from the controller back to the motor, which is A2. And you have this white and black wire here that you can probably barely see. These are going to be your field cables here. This right here changes the direction of the motor. So go ahead and get rid of all of this stuff here. This harness looks pretty good. I'll probably end up keeping it for somebody that wants to do a PDS swap that says they have a series 36-volt golf cart. And this right here, you could use this right here controller. You would just need a PDS motor. All right, I went ahead and removed all the cables and connectors away from the controller that needs to be removed. The reason I didn't remove the green one here is because you can just leave it attached to the solenoid and to the controller itself, since the new one is not going to use this right here solenoid plate. We did remove the A1, we did remove the battery negative, we did remove the battery positive that went here, and we also removed A2 that went right here as well. I have disconnected the harnesses. This is your main harness. This right here is going to be your ITS harness here. And the new one's probably gonna have a square plug, so we're probably gonna end up cutting that off and soldering that together or using some male and female crimps. And on this white one here, this right here is gonna be the speed sensor. We're going to do away with this right here plug, use the plug away from our harness, but everything is removed. Now I'm gonna remove the dash portion of this right here harness so we can just pull it out. Then we can remove the controller away from the plate. Now we need to go ahead and remove this right here plate. Yours may have screws. These are not factory. I think factory comes with rivets, but someone's put these in there. So we need to remove those so we can gain access to the back of the key switch. Here we go. We got our wires back here. We're gonna disconnect these right here wires. We're no longer use any of this right here stuff for our new system. Here's our harness. The harness is also zip tied to the body itself. There we go, harness is out. Now I'm using a 10mm socket here to remove the bolts of the controller. And on mine, there was only 2 at the very top. And then you had 2 bolts holding on the solenoid bracket. This is controller I showed you earlier. It did not have any bolts. I just robbed some bolts from another controller I have. So if you used my link down in the video description, generally the bolts do come with them. This right here was a second-hand controller. So with that being said, if you need to buy your bolts, it's gonna be an 8mm by 1.25 pitch thread. All right, let's go over our cable here, our TXT48 harness. Our main plug for the controller. This is gonna be our computer input for the controller. It's a 4-pin with 4 wires. This right here's got a 4-pin with 2 wires. This is going to be a female, and our tow run switch is going here. It comes off to a length here. This is going to go to our speed sensor on the side of the motor. We're gonna leave this plug right here alone. We're gonna cut and adapt our other plug. Our next plug here, which we'll probably end up cutting off and putting a male and female on, this right here is gonna go to our ITS and the floorboard, which is our foot switch and our accelerator. Coming down here, we're gonna have 3 more wires. Blue and yellow is gonna go to the smaller terminals of the solenoid. Red is gonna go to the power side of the solenoid to the battery. This long one here, we're gonna have us a female 4-pin here. You can actually just attach this somewhere up underneath the cart, up underneath the seat. This is gonna be for our computer or our handheld to attach to the controller. And this right here is gonna be our reed switch wire. This normally goes to the receptacle for the charging, but since we're doing a lithium conversion on this cart and we're gonna mount the charger on board, we're actually gonna take this right here wire, put a ring terminal on it, and run it to the positive side of the battery. Then we got a longer length here. This is going up to the front of the cart. This is gonna supply an F and R switch and our power switch as well. Now when you're putting the harness in, you can lay the harness all up into the battery tray here, okay? This right here is gonna stay in the battery tray, but this long cable here with our loose wires, this is gonna go to the front to the key switch. So we're gonna install this the same way we removed the old PDS harness. We're actually gonna stick it down here through this hole and run it to the front of the cart. I ran it inside that C-channel there and used zip ties to hold it in place. All right, went ahead and ran the front of the harness up here to behind that right there panel. Now on the harness, I took this right here lead, I zip tied it here and here. This is gonna be for our handheld to hook up to. If you're actually using a battery system like lead acid batteries and you're gonna retain your stock receptacle, this right here plug generally plugs into the back of that receptacle. However, on a PDS, you would need to cut this right here wire off here and this one and then put a butt connector on it. But since we're doing lithium, this one's going straight to the battery positive. And since we're gonna put an onboard charger on here, we're gonna do away with this right here harness. This is how the main part of the harness connects. Right here, we have our tow run switch. Over here with the 4 wires is going into our diagnostics port, and our main harness is going into the controller. So this right here is gonna be the TXT speed sensor plug here. And this old one here, it usually plugged directly into the PDS controller. However, both speed sensors are the same, except this one right here has got a different plug on it, and that's why I kept the old plug of the old speed sensor I showed you earlier, and I'll just connect those to that and we'll plug it in. Okay, I've adapted the new speed sensor plug to the old existing speed sensor from the PDS card. I just use butt connectors as well, and here's the reason why. Speed sensors themselves are known to fail, so once they fail, you're not gonna buy one for a PDS, you're gonna buy one for a TXT48, and it will then come with this right here plug. If you don't have one of these plugs, then I would go ahead and recommend just buying a new speed sensor for the end of your motor, and it'll tie directly into your harness and you don't have to butt connect anything. This plug here is going to be for the TXT48 ITS plug with the 4 wires in it. The PDS ITS plug, it plugged directly into the controller, so we'll need to cut these wires off and you can butt connect them together, or you can use male and females. It's totally up to you. So I just use butt connectors for my ITS harness there. And if I ever have to replace the ITS harness, then, well, the only thing I'm gonna have to do is remove these butt connectors and butt connect the new ones back to it. But black to black, white to white, red to red, green to green, that's done. This is the last modification we have to do to this harness here. I just cut off the plug that went to the reed switch, and I put on a ring terminal to go to the positive side of the battery. So this is the solenoid I bought. It's a 48 volt. And you can mount it straight to a flat surface. You got your coils on the ends, which are the smaller terminals. Then you got your plunger or your pass-through, which is the larger terminals right there. Your diagnostic port here. S1 is white, S2 is black. You got your main harness. You got your battery input here, and this right here is going to your solenoid. A1 goes to your motor ground. And then you got your battery lead right there. So this is gonna go to the negative of the battery. This one here is gonna go to the solenoid. So on the solenoid, you're gonna need a resistor and a diode. The resistor is gonna go between the 2 larger terminals, and what it's gonna do is it's gonna allow current to flow through the solenoid so you don't have an inrush of current when you press on the throttle. The diode here, the stripe on the diode, if you can see that, the stripe on it is gonna go towards the positive side. That doesn't let the positive and the negative join together. So this right here is like a one-way valve. So let's go over the wire colors here at the front of the cart. Red and black is gonna be for your reverse buzzer. Your F&R switch, gray is gonna be your input to your center pin. Orange up top, green at the bottom. Yellow and white sends power from the solenoid back to the controller. All right, guys, so these are Vatrer batteries, and we're gonna put one of these batteries in our TXT48 converted golf cart. This right here is your most standard battery here. This is the 51.2 volt, 105 amp hour battery. Now, this one here is their new small version. It's a little bit taller, but it's a lot narrower and it's more square, and it's still 51.2, 105 amp hours. Now, these batteries all feature this LCD gauge here. It comes with your gauge. It tells you your percentage. It tells you the amperage, the voltage, how many run times you've done on it, how many times the battery's been charged. You can also turn on and off the battery by the discharge here or the charge. And it also shows you the cells inside the battery. So each battery comes with that. It comes with its own charger here by Vatrer. Now, when you get this right here in the box, you're gonna get a user's manual. You're gonna get a warranty policy card that you need to fill out, mail into them. There's your user manual. Here's your operation instructions of the app. So there's a Bluetooth app you can get for your phone by Vatrer. And that's what it looks like. And that's where you can download it there straight from your phone. And this is a golf cart battery connection diagram. Pretty simple. So in this right here build, we're probably gonna be using the little small square battery in this TXT48. All right guys, got the battery installed, the charger's installed over there underneath the driver's side, and we also got the gauge installed as well. I mounted a gauge in this pocket here, just use 3 screws here. It looks pretty good, very easy to see. Now let's test out this TXT48 system with this Vatrer battery. All right guys, I got my Kraken hooked up here. This is for our EasyGo TXT, it's the dealer version. And I'm gonna place a link to these right here down in the video description. So on the TXT48, you can actually change the speed of the cart. Right now it was going like 14, and we're gonna bump this up. I think 19.5 is about as fast as it's gonna go with these wheels and tires. I'm gonna go ahead and flash. All right, it says success. Acceleration, fast, success. And on the acceleration, you got a mild, aggressive, and fast. So we're just gonna leave it on fast. Brake setup is mild. We can actually turn our regenerative braking off if we want to. We got heavy, mild, and coast. I like coast better. Rapid hill is off. I'm gonna leave it off. We live around flat areas. I'm not worried about it rolling back. And there we go. So let's test the speed now and see exactly if it's any quicker than it was, which I believe it will be. I'll tell you what, we're gonna turn the speedometer on here as well. We'll go ahead and put it over here on the screen somewhere and see exactly how fast we are on these stock wheels and tires. So we sped it up to 19.5. But we're doing 18 max. Look at that back tire there. What if we can add some air? Because down there, it looks like it's got a belly on it. Let's pump these back tires up. Because that front one right there, it looks like it's pumped up. But then you look at this one, it looks like it's low. And believe it or not, that will cause the golf cart to run slower. All right, where are we at here? Let's see what we got going on. It's at 7 PSI. I don't even know what their recommended rating is. We're at 15 now. That's doubled. Let's just go to 16.9. Okay, that's what we're gonna be at. And I'm gonna do the same thing on the passenger side. All right, let's try this again. All right guys, well, we hit 19 miles per hour by inflating the rear tires, and it did pick up that speed increment. Now, I know what you're thinking, it says 19.5, but our GPS app doesn't measure half a mile per hour increments. So we could have been doing that, but it's not quite 20, so who knows. Another thing, I'm gonna list everything in the video description for doing a TXT48 conversion on a 36 volt PDS golf cart. If you're looking for a 48 volt golf cart and you can only find a 36 volt PDS, not a series, but a PDS, you don't have to purchase a motor when doing so. And I'm gonna link everything down in the video description, like I said. Until next time, guys, I appreciate y'all watching my channel. We'll see y'all later. Bye.